Alright, welcome back. Today, while I'm painting in the background, I want to talk about one of the most annoying things ever, and that's procrastination. Over the past little while, I've been working on removing procrastination from my life as much as possible, and thankfully, it's worked really well. So I thought I would share the 3 strategies that work for me. As always, a quick disclaimer, I'm not some expert on procrastination or anything I talk about, I'm just sharing my experience. Before I get into the 3 strategies, I want to share how I actually got the motivation to stop procrastinating. If you want to just go straight to the 3 tips, there's timestamps in the description. So procrastination is one of those things that just straight up sucks. For me, it was something that I knew I did too much, and even although I knew it was really bad, I just sort of turned a blind eye to it. It was on the I'll deal with it at some point, but right now it's not the most important thing list. But one day I was sitting around and not doing much, probably procrastinating. I don't remember what I was doing exactly, but I ended up just thinking about how much of an effect it was actually having on my life. I realized that procrastination was hardly ever an isolated thing. Like for example, let's say I wanted to work out, but then I remember Netflix exists, so I convinced myself that I'll just watch 1 episode of Rick and Morty, then I'll work out. That 1 episode turns into 2, then 3, and then hours go by. I'm feeling pretty guilty for putting off that workout, but at this point I've pretty much become one with the sofa, so the only sensible thing to do is drown myself in Doritos to make myself feel better. On top of that, I feel like the day's kinda unfinished since I didn't do the things I wanted. So I stay up too late, procrastinate on going to sleep, get up later the next day, start on the back foot, and this would basically just go on and on. So that one time when I procrastinated would actually cause a lot of issues over the next few days to a week. Before I actually sat and really thought about this, I would have assumed that if I missed a workout one day, that would be the end of it. But now I realized it was actually having a much bigger impact. This gave me a sense of urgency. Fixing procrastination went from something I was going to do at some point in the future to alarm bells ringing, the building's on fire, like this needs to be sorted now. So now that I was in a slightly panicked state, I had to come up with some strategies to stop me when I was about to procrastinate. After some trial and error, I found 3 things that really worked for me. All of these are focused on just getting me to start whatever it is I need to do. For me and for most people I talk to, procrastination is only annoying until I've started. So if I can just get myself to start, the urge to procrastinate goes away. The first one is I prepare for the task ahead of time. If there's something that I have to do before I can actually start, it just makes it so much harder. As stupid as it sounds, this could be something as simple as getting my workout clothes out of the wardrobe. If I take care of that ahead of time, it takes the hassle out of it. The second thing is this whole idea of the 2-minute rule. I've heard about this from a bunch of different books, podcasts, and YouTube videos, and there's also a lot of different versions of it. The way I do it is just taking whatever task I need to do and breaking it down into smaller, manageable chunks. So let's say I want to do a painting, which takes me a few hours. If I think, oh man, that's going to take like 3 to 4 hours, what if something comes up 2 hours from now and I can't finish it? Or what if I mess it up and my back gets kind of sore when I paint sometimes? Basically, my mind just comes up with a bunch of random reasons not to do it because the task seems so big. But if I think, okay, all I have to do is spend 2 minutes painting, then it's very hard for my mind to come up with excuses. Just like with the first thing, it makes it seem so much more approachable and less intimidating, which makes it easier to sit down and start. Then once I've started, it's easy to continue. Alright, moving on to the third and final thing. This was the one that helped the most. It's basically just thinking about the consequences. So I noticed that whenever I would procrastinate, I would default into thinking that it wasn't going to be a big deal. I would always say, I'll just do this for 10 or 20 minutes, pretending that it would stop there. Now, when I wanted to procrastinate, let's say by watching YouTube, I would think about what would happen if I spent the rest of the day mindlessly watching movie reviews, eating a bunch of junk foods, and feeling pretty guilty the whole time. By the end of the day, I'd feel like crap, and on top of that, I would have just made the next day much harder because now I'd have to play catch up. This is basically the opposite of the 2-minute rule. I'm taking procrastination and making it this big, painful thing that's going to cause a lot of problems. When I think about it that way, it makes it way less tempting, and it also makes procrastination something I really want to avoid. When I do this alongside the 2-minute rule, it becomes a sort of carrot and stick. It's a choice between doing 2 minutes of something that I actually want to do, or spending hours procrastinating, wasting a bunch of my day, and making life suck. Whenever I frame the choice to procrastinate like that, it makes it really easy to get started. So those are the 3 things I do to deal with procrastination. It's been really fun to be on track with my goals and continue building consistency. I'd love to hear what you do to deal with procrastination, so let me know down in the comments. I think this painting went a lot better than last week's one. I've decided to start painting some more dynamic poses because I find them much more interesting, but they're also a lot harder. Definitely going to need to do some more practice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop me a like and subscribe if you want to know when my next video comes out. Take it easy.